Hello. What's going on YouTube? I am HotMessNess, MUA, otherwise known as Vanessa. Mirror check. I don't have any blush on. I haven't put on my eye primer yet, and I don't have a lipstick on because today we're finally diving into this. The Blue Blood palette. The palette that I bought because packaging is cool. The inside is beautiful, but it kind of petrifies me because, let me be honest, I don't like to wear the color blue. It's not that I don't, it's just not a color I love. You know, if this had been a purple palette, I would have been all over that ish. And then I was also thinking about returning it to Beautylish because two of the pans are super fucking wonky. I mean, real wonky. But I saw other people's palettes and they kind of look like that, and the shades weren't everywhere, so I couldn't justify asking for it. I mean, Beautylish is super cool, and when I first contacted them, they were right on top of it and wanted me to send pictures, and I was like, can I really be like, hey, this palette is wonky at the house? So really quickly, I'm gonna show you the Beautylish haul that I had when I purchased this. I ordered on release date, and I know everybody's done their videos already. I know I'm so late, but it's because I don't really like blue. And then you're thinking, well, why did you order it? I don't miss the Jeffree Star palette. That's just it. So when I ordered said palette, I was like, well, it's so beautiful. And I almost bought the whole kit, but who am I kidding? I don't wear blue lipstick. I also ordered the little bag because I thought, wow, I shove so much makeup in my purse. I could take this to work when I want to do makeup at work. I don't have as much time as I used to. I also got the Velour Lip Scrub in Blue Freeze. I always try to get a lip scrub from their collections because the packaging's always different, and I really enjoy this. I like the Jouer one better, but it smells like candy. It's so yummy, so yummy. So I got that, and then I wanted to try the Liquid Frost formula, and it's cool. It's cool. I like the little mechanism, like you kind of shake it up that way, but I totally got the wrong shade. I was going off of like his swatches, and I probably should have gotten the lighter one. Oh, it blurps out like. So anyway, this shade is called Expensive, and I thought Expensive I might be able to use on my skin tone, but it looks like I have a dirty face when I use it on my face. So what I can do with this is take like a fluffy duo fiber brush and kind of dust it almost where I'd put bronzer if I want that kind of a look. I'm so lazy because I should just return it and get a shade that I love, but I have used this like on other parts of the body, which is, it's pretty. Now I'm gonna be a glittery mess on one arm, but it's pretty on the skin, but just not the right shade for me. So I think I can't really tell you if I love this formula or not because I haven't put it on my face. But I find with any of the liquidy kind of highlighting formulas, so you can see the kind of brown shift to it, that it's best to use like a duo fiber brush. Don't, in my experience, I wouldn't go in with a beauty sponge. I know that's what people do, but it picks up your foundation. And I have that happen with a lot of liquid kind of highlighters, and that's the kind that I like the most. So I think I'm gonna look into getting maybe a shade. I think I wanted the canary one. I think there's like a canary yellow one that I want, and then there's a shade from this line, and I think it was called, I don't know, if I can remember, I'll leave it up here. So Beautylish sent me a little gift. It's VDL, a primer. It's really good. So that was part of my haul, plus the palette. Plus, I got the Sonia G Pro Eye Set, and those are the only brushes I've been using. These are all my Sonia G's with the random couple Morphes, but oh man, I will do a dedicated video on these, showing up close and whatever, but if you have small eyes, small eye space, semi-hooded, hooded lids, you cannot go wrong with the Pro set. The regular sets are a little bit bigger and you know, you'll get more done. But with these little pro ones, they're just so little and you can really get in there and do things. And I love that. I love that. So I am a newfound obsessed person with Sonia G makeup brushes. So today, that was my Beautylish haul that I'll be paying on until June. It's amazing. But the Sonia G, so worth it. We're gonna dump into the Jeffree Star one and see how we feel about that. So this is first impressions. I'm not gonna lie and be one of those YouTubers that say I haven't watched any videos. I've watched a lot. I've watched, because you know, my friends have, some of my friends on YouTube have done videos and you know, I support their channels. I'm not gonna not watch their content because, oh, I wanna make an unbiased video. No, not this girl. Because who the hell knows when she'll get around to filming with it. But I've seen that the pigments look like they're kind of difficult to work with. I kind of think that I'll have an advantage with my Sonia G brushes, but we will see. So I'm gonna start off with priming my eyes. It's been a hot minute since I've sat down and done this kind of a video with you guys. Oh, that's nice. One, because they take a lot more time to film and not be interrupted and me yelling at children. And two, because I'm kind of a lazy cow. I don't know what's going on with me these days. I love doing YouTube and I love filming and it's such a good time, but it's like there's always something going on and I just get kind of swept up in the madness sometimes with my love's health issues recently. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing because I am a mess and you know, we all need to be reminded that not everyone on YouTube is perfect and rich and all of those things that we see from some of these people. Sometimes it's nice to know that there are people out there just like you who enjoy makeup, but not everything is perfect. And yet you can still get away and sometimes look at someone else's life and be like, wow, this makes me appreciate my life more. I want to be that channel for you. Anyway, so my love was in the hospital last week for a new medication and he's feeling much better. I'm hoping that it'll keep, he has an AFib and a flutter, and I'm hoping it will keep his heart on track so he can lose the 100 pounds that he needs to lose to do his surgery. But everything else in the in-between, there's always something. Like my garbage disposal died and I had to call the property management team and you know, be like, hey, I'm gonna take this out of my rent. And they sent someone right away. Shocking. And that was, you know. And then on top of that, I had a totally shit mom moment where today was supposed to be lunch on the lawn, but I had scheduled the whole thing for the garbage disposal guy to come out and totally blew it. So now I'm gonna owe somebody lunch and some major child ass kissing. And I tried to get Dad to swing in there and save the day, but I guess he was unavailable. Anyway, maybe someday we'll have a story about that. Okay, so my goal here, number one, is not to do some artsy fartsy stuff, okay? I'm not trying to come in here and use 50 shades and do a halo cut crease for y'all. I want to see how user-friendly this palette is. And according to the reviews I've seen, it's not, but we'll see, okay? So, I kind of want to build on some blues. So I think, and this is a pastel, I want to use this one. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to use Untouchable. I should have took some up-close shots of this because the pans are so stinking pretty. So I'm going to use Untouchable here because it's color and a pastel. I'm going to just pack it in. That's nice. I was kind of under the assumption it would just go away, but there you go. It's building prettily. Pretty. I kind of got a little high there, but you know, we can always fix that later. I spent way too much time trying to build eyebrows today. Can you tell? Can you tell? I do that sometimes where I'm like, oh, I have some time. I'm gonna film. And then I spend 30 minutes trying to build eyebrows. Okay, so the more you pack it in, the more you get that like dusty pastel. But if you kind of blend it, you get more of the pink, which I honestly thought this was gonna be a complete dud of a shade. Well, one thing about looking at people's tutorials, if they're not on the PR list, but they're higher in numbers, I feel like a lot of people are gonna do the butt kissing just so maybe Jeffree will see them and get them on the PR list. And that's always a thing. And so many of the titles and thumbnails for Jeffree Star stuff is always like look shady. You know, it's like, really, Jeffree? Really? Is it dry? Is it patchy? And then the whole time they're like kissing Jeffree Star bum. I know Jeffree Star isn't looking for me. I'm closer to the mature community than the babies out there. So I know that he's not going to be like, oh, you did a very basic look with my palette. Here's some PR. You know, I'm not worried about that. So I like the way that this performed. It's pretty. It's a nice pastel pink. I'm a little worried about jumping into a blue, but hey, why not? I'm going to take the Blender Pro and I'm going to grab a little bit of Wealthy and try to blend a little right here because I went just a bit too high. Getting some payoff there. Now, I kind of wanted to go into this one, but we'll go here. We're going to take Blue Blood, and I'm going to take the Worker 3. This is not from the Pro set, but it's a nice small brush, but the Pro one's even smaller. So I'm going to take Blue Blood, and I'm going to Stampy-Doo the blue here and see where that goes. Hopefully I don't muddy this up and make something kind of nasty. Make a lot of bad choices. I'm looking forward to doing some very dark smoky looks with like this shade, maybe a little this. That I can get behind. I'm just not usually like a bright blue eyeshadow wearer, but, and I totally promote a lot of those kind of collections that came out. One of the things about this collection that I've noticed is so many people going in and saying, well, that's very pigmented. That all these other brands copied Jeffree, but let's be real, the Tarte April Fools is what got this thing going. One of the videos that I'd like to do next, because I needed to do this one first, is a video using the Jeffree Star, everything that kind of came along with or post Tarte's Icy Betch joke, right? Because Sydney Grace came out with a collection and so did Davina. So I'd like to show them all kind of side by side. How do I feel about this? Okay, so this brush is got the little pink untouchable on it, and I'm just gonna kind of blend on the edges because I've obviously laid down some colors that are not, you know, the same, but I don't want to have the super harsh line, but I'm okay with some of the line. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to have it be a seamless pink into blue because these are going to kind of darken and muddy ever so slightly. I'm okay with that, you know? And why? Because it's makeup and I'm not trying to do a crazy Instagram photo. I'm just trying to try this palette out and see how it would feel. Is it friendly? Are you friendly? Are you not friendly? So this kind of lineage might make some people crazy. This doesn't bug me. So let me know down below, guys, if you want to see that video. Jeffree Star, and maybe I could do swatches of all the blue collections that I have. I didn't buy that Tarte Icy Betch that actually came out. I actually heard the formula was nice. But the reality is I don't really like blue eyeshadow. The Icy Betch dupes I liked because they had a lot of greens in there. So it's like you could do blue and green, and some of the shades were blue-green. All right. Do I want to do a little of this and this in the outer? I think so. And I'm gonna go the smaller version of the brush that I just used, the Worker Pro, and I'm gonna grab Flourishing. It doesn't have a lot of crazy kick up. I don't remember which ones of these were pressed pigments and which ones weren't. Oh, this is actually lighter than I thought it would be. Okay, so we're gonna take this and scoop it over a bit. Like over here. I'm definitely feeling Easter egg fantasy vibes here. So I'm kind of patting it on here and kind of scooping ever so slightly underneath where I did the shade Blue Blood. This is more of a, I don't know, a true turquoise, would you call it? This reminds me of like a blue ocean kind of shade. And it's not scary Barbie blue on me. I'm not feeling that way, which is really honestly what I was afraid of with this palette, that I'd be like, wow, you're having an 80s Barbie moment and nobody appreciates that. Now see, if I would have done a halo eye here, that could have been fun. But I want to play with a couple more colors. But literally I could have gone this flourishing right here, flourishing here, something in the center, and been done with it. But I do want to play with Blue Monday, because Blue Monday is, I've heard, translates kind of purple on the skin. I think that this palette looks like it's, it can be a bit intimidating because you're like, it's so much blue, and where do I go with this one? And I think some of the other palettes like that have color do things in a way that you're like, oh, I can see stories here. Primarily I'm thinking of ABH because they almost set up little quads. So when you look at the whole palette, if you break it down, you're like, oh, here's a quad, here's a quad. There's no such thing here. So you almost just pick a couple colors that you think will go together and save it at that. And I think that's where you can get the most use out of this. Use 2, maybe 3 colors, and then you won't have a major disaster on your hands. These brushes are making it very easy though. I know a lot of people recommend a scratchier brush to diffuse color, but I find that to be not an enjoyable experience, and this is making this very enjoyable. And it's totally darkening right here. You know, I'm not getting a super clean blend, but I literally took a pastel pink and a blue, and a pink and a blue is gonna make kind of a purple, so I'm okay with that. Now we're gonna take the Builder Pro, and I'm gonna grab Blue Monday, which is actually the shade, not by the pan, but what I've seen other people do with this, because it translates to purple. And you know I love purple. So it's like a blue purple, and that makes me happy. This one I think is one of the pressed pigments, so I'm going to try to be gentle with this one and try to place color first, and then I'll go back in and blend. But I think this shade just wants to be packed. That's what I'm getting from it so far. It's like, just pack me on, don't. It's blending though.
God, this brush is good.
I think that this is one of those shades that you could blend away. I really do like this color though. So I'm just taking good old Blue Monday, placing it where I want it, and then swishing around my brush to blend it. Anybody order the Magic Star concealers? Oh, that was a joke. I was on Beautylish because Beautylish is always my source, but I thought I needed C5. And I don't know if C5 was the shade that was stolen. I couldn't remember. I thought it was like C1, but C5 wasn't on Beautylish. So then I had popped C7 in my cart and went over to Jeffree Star's page and saw that C5 was on there. So I popped C5 in my cart and went through the whole checkout process, and the website crashed, And then I was able to add it again, and then I was waiting in the shipping line for a hot minute. It was just like buffering. And then when it was done, I get to the cart and it's like $22. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean $22? It took it out. So I only had the powder in my cart, and then C5 sold out. So then I went back over to Beautylish and just thought, whatever, I'll get C7 and call it a day. And same thing, went to check out and C7 was gone. So I had to go back to Jeffree Star's website, add C7, was waiting forever. It was buffering. And then it ended up saying, yep, you got it. And that was it. But I absolutely hate ordering from Jeffree Star's website. It just takes way too long. Like, I still haven't even got a shipping confirmation, but it's not like I ordered the product because I want to be the first to review it. I know better when it comes to that. Like, if I'm not going to get it from Beautylish, my review it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares. If you want to be seen, that's not what you do. At this point, you go to a Morphe store and get it. I was not driving an hour and a half for concealer. So that's the tea with that. I'll be getting the concealer sometime, in the next month. Maybe before he unleashes the next product, who knows. But I've had Jeffree Star packages lost, and they are so awesome. Like, when it comes down to that, like, I've had them send a new one after the time has gone up, and then I've had 2 things show up at my door, and you're like, hey, that's cool. But it's never quick. I think maybe one release that I've done that I purchased on his website was actually quick. And you have to pay for shipping, and Beautylish does not charge for shipping. Man, this palette is hard to hold up while you do your makeup. It's not like obnoxiously heavy. It's just not light enough to be like, hey, I'm gonna hold this while I do a tutorial. So I'm just trying to get this up a little bit higher because I've seemed to get it up high over here while trying to maintain that shade Flourishing right slightly above. I have eye wrinkles there, maybe that's it. And take the brush that I had, is this the one I had Flourishing on? Yeah. And no new product, and just blend in between. Kind of losing the Flourishing shade ever so slightly, but it's still on my lid, which I appreciate. They're not really blending together though. Even as I blend, it's almost like the shade Flourishing is taking over that deep ass. But I also have some wrinklies right here in my eyeball. Blend, damn you. Well, I managed to keep Blue Monday just underneath, but the blend between the two is not amazing. So I'm gonna take little Pencil Pro and try to get my little Blue Monday to mesh. I'm gonna have to pick some up, huh? Yeah, I believe Blue Monday is best to be packed on, blended around, which kind of sucks because it's such a badass color. But I don't know if you guys can see, I'm putting it down, but it's not really wanting to merge with Flourishing. It's kind of like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stay over here, you stay over there, and we'll call it a day. You're kind of a butthole. Yeah, if I just place it down, it'll do its job, but it doesn't want to really be friends with Flourishing. It's kind of like, hey, I'm Blue Monday. I'm not really trying to like love you. Which from far away is fine. But if you're trying to get like some amazing Instagram pics, have fun with that. So I'm gonna go back in with Flourishing and see if I can blend this up without it getting too mucky. I'm getting a little muddy here. See all that? I was saying, oh, I kind of like this. I just think this is my first impression, of course. But I'm thinking this palette is best if you just pick a couple colors and stick with them. Like if I would have stuck with the sherbet and the blue blood, untouchable blue blood and flourishing, that would have been awesome. But I think I have a bit too much going on here now. Because you see, I'm a little muddy right here. But see, I've lost some of the differentials. It's fine, it's fine. I'm not gonna flex on it because who's got time for that? I want a little more depth here. I'm gonna take the Sonia G Pencil Pro. Let's see, this one or this one. One is a cement gray and one is a darker. I'm gonna go with Undertaker because I think that cremated might take over. I think if it's also a pressed pigment, it might not want to blend very well. And I've used pressed pigments that do blend, so I don't really understand the science behind some of this. You hear a lot of this from bigger gurus lately. You know, oh, it's a pressed pigment, blah, blah, blah. You can blend a pressed pigment. I'd rather them just straight up and say, this shade was created, so you just use it by itself, okay? We wanted to keep this pigment, we wanted to keep this, you know, part about this shade, and we're willing to sacrifice it blending really well with a bunch of other shades. You know, I could appreciate that. I'd be like, okay, I won't try to be layering that shit. That's fine. Oh, that's nice. See, I think, yeah, that's my first impression here, guys, is just only use a couple shades and you'll be golden. And I'm just deepening her up right here on the outer. And I like to take my darker shades and just kind of close to the lash line and outward. If I was a good YouTuber, I'd be like, we're gonna do a cut crease. We're gonna do this. I don't know what I wanna do all that. I do have a little, nope, no blue, that's just my wrinkles. It is what it is. I still like this. If you're a perfectionist and you have to blend everything for hours, you may not like this. I am not that person. I could give two jizzes. Once I put on, you know, the full beat, I think this is good. I'm gonna take a little more Untouchable and kind of stamp it here so I keep my pink. One of these days, I'm gonna do like some of those other YouTubers that I've seen, or like Nikki Tutorials has done a lot lately, or MMM Mitchell, where they focus a lot of concentration of color and then they blend after. I'm gonna try that one of these days, but it just looks like it takes forever. But I wanna try that technique just so that way I can be like, oh, okay, not for me, but that's cool. All right, so we've got Entitled, Ice Tray, it's a little too much like Crystal Flesh. That might bring out the pink. So we're gonna try this. Bear with me. I'm gonna take Ocean Ice, this beautiful shade here. I'm expecting Fallout City, okay? That's what I'm expecting. Should get one of those little things, and I'm just gonna pop her here. Kind of, na, you know what I just did? Oh, it's so pigmented I didn't even have to do all that outer V crap. So much for all that stuff that I just did. Okay, what I should have done is started over here and then worked her over. But I didn't. I like to just go over the top and go in hard. Let's see if I can fix any of it by pushing it away. Ooh, best to grab a clean brush there, dummy. Okay, so let's try this again like we know what we're doing. My hand is getting tired. I'm gonna take Ocean Ice because I don't want this to be all crazy in your face. I'm gonna take it on the lid in the center and try to work her over a little bit. Like if you just wanted to go in hard and shiny, this color is the jam. But I want a more muted version of this because I'm gonna go pink on the lid. Packing her on here. I feel like I nailed it on this side, and this side it's all, you messed it up. Now I'm gonna take Crystal Flesh. Oh, I just ruined that pan. And put her here. I should be using my finger. It's so hard to get precision out of the finger. That's what she said. No, it's not. Fingers are great. Okay, I like where this is going. I just don't like the way it's looking, if that makes sense, because of the way I'm popping it on. So I'm gonna grab my Worker Pro and try to clean it off and use a flat side to grab some crystal flesh.
That sounds nasty.
That's better. Then I can blend while I'm doing it. How brilliant is that? Okay, I do have to say this. This palette is making me feel creative. Now, I like this side better, but, you know, I'm trying to make a match now. What I do on this side that I didn't do on that side? I'm gonna have to use a finger here and then wet the brush, but I'm trying to build first. Fingers really were working out here. Okay, I've got it laid where I want. I got some flecks of stuff in my eye and it's burning a little. And now I'm just gonna clean off that brush that I just used and try to scoopy some of it down. See, you got just a little bit of the blue peeking through that. Okay, I got you. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I was just afraid of it. Now I'm glad that I played with it. All right, now I'm gonna take, how many times does she say that? Now I'm gonna take a Makeup Geek foiled brush. These are amazing, and Makeup Geek has been going through things, so if you need a good brush for picking up foiled shades, should have done that the first time. I'm gonna tap and hopefully have some spray around. You know what I almost just did? Okay, so I almost just picked this up. Luxury Sunless Tanning Water to spray. Could you imagine? I'll have like a brown eye later. Like, what the hell did you do? That would have been awesome. That's very classic me. I would do that. I would. So I am wetting Crystal Flesh and moving her over. I'm gonna work on blending these two together by just pushing them down. Yes, 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 yes. I really like this, but I need to bring back more of Ocean Ice, and I hope it doesn't become overpowering. I'm a little worried about how some of these will hold up later. So I'm taking Ocean Ice, I wet it, my brush is a little damp, and now my palette looks like crap. So right over here, see it, I don't want it to take over. So I'm placing that more over here so that I can blend it over after I have less on the brush. Get what I'm saying? I'm still gonna have like a pretty good divide, aren't I?
Wiggle it just a little bit.
I'm going to clean off, I hope I can clean it off, the Pencil Pro. I need it to have no blue on it or this isn't gonna work. I'm gonna take Untouchable, the pastel, and really try to, oh, there's a shit ton of fallout on my face. Oh man. Jeffree Star, your palette's beautiful, but I get crap on my face because I don't know what I'm doing.
Can I fix it? Ah!
I'm gonna take quite a bit of this. I'm gonna pack it because it's a pastel and try to build up as much as I can. As much as I can. These are kind of irritating on my eyeballs. I wonder what it is. I mean, besides getting powder in your eye. But every time I do, it kind of itchy. Now I'm gonna take this little tiny Morphe 432 and I'm gonna go in with Blue Monday. You know, the shade that didn't really want to blend but wanted to be packed. And I'm packing her right here. Okay, I got a little crazy with this line over here, but I am not trying to clean that up right now. I'll just make a new line. It's all good. Try to make a match over here. Yeah? Okay. Now I'm taking this random brush and I'm gonna just wiggle it. There's a lot of wiggling going on today. To be fair, this is not my finest hour, but I'm not gonna take 2 hours to do an eyeshadow look. YouTube is not my full-time job, and I don't know if I would do that even if it was. I mean, like some of those YouTubers film an eyeshadow makeup look for like 8 hours. And I'm like, I'd get bored with myself. All right, now I'm going to take Cullinan and pop her right there. Ooh, you should, don't get it in your eye. There's something about this formula that does not want to be in my eyeball. It's like, hey, don't do that. It hurts. So I'm kind of going around and about and a little under here. And do a glowy brow bone highlight because I haven't done that in, I don't know, years. This used to be my jam. I used to do this all the time, and now when I see people that do it, like, I'm all, ooh, I don't know about that. But it's kind of fun once in a while. I am going to put on a little liner, some mascara, probably some eye drops. This eyeball is not appreciating the Cullinan in my eye, and I'll be back. Alrighty, so I put some glitter on the inner part. It's got some dark flecks in it, so it kind of casts a dark shadow, which I'm totally okay with. It's the Villains one from ColourPop, Do I Look Like I Care? And the lashes that I have on are from Kiss. They're the Faux Mink collection. It's just KLCSO1. It doesn't have a name. These were actually surprisingly easy to put on. My lippy is a combo from Give Me Glow Cosmetics, Stripped, which is no longer available, and Courtney. And I feel like I still need a gloss on top. So we're gonna add a little So Juicy Feels Like Summer. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, so when I was adding my liner and lashes, I got a really good look up close. And I had that ocean ice everywhere. Like I tried to take a beauty sponge and get it up, and it was like, what did I do to deserve this blue massacre on my face? So I'm going to give you guys a roundabout of my first impression, but not before I take a little bit of the Cullinan shade and add a little highlight, because that was something missing. I also had a pink blush because I couldn't figure out what kind of blush I wanted until I had the look finished, because I didn't want to go in with a certain kind of blush. I just did pink, just pink. Oh, that's a nice highlight, especially with this wing gloss, because it spreads everything out so I can have an icy white without being like, what is that? What is that? Let's dab a little bit more right here for the extra. All right. Wow. All right, you just went way extra. Now you gotta blend. So, on camera, far away, I think it's beautiful. But if you get real up close, you can see the separation where it didn't really want to blend. My tools were everything with this. I feel like my Sonia G brushes made this so much easier. Had I used some brushes that might have been scratchier or harder to pick up product, this would have been more difficult. So I feel like that's almost, I don't want to say cheating, but it definitely helped the situation. So what did we use? We used 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit of 5, 6, 7, 8 shades, technically 9. We used quite a bit. Do I love the look? Yes, I do. I think it was very pretty. I know I can achieve this with other things in my collection, because what ended up happening is most of my blue now looks purple. So I lost a lot of the blue blood here. It's not even that it faded, it's just not even really there anymore. So I feel like Blue Monday took over, but Flourishing kind of did its own thing. Am I glad my first impression that I have this? Yes, because all these colors together are inspiring me to do more, especially as I was building. My first impression thoughts to you guys: if you absolutely need this palette, just know that I think using only a couple of shades at once, 2, 3 mattes and a shimmer, 4 I feel like is pushing it, because they're gonna blend and become something else. Will I do more looks on my channel? Yes, because now I'm inspired. now I want to play with this palette more. So this isn't a final review. This is just my first impressions, letting you guys know I enjoyed this. I did. But that doesn't mean that I would go out and tell other people to buy it, because just from the first look that I did, I know I could create this with other things in my collection. But having it all together and knowing, okay, I'm only gonna play with 2 or 3 shades. Now, if all of these built on each other and didn't become something else within them, I would have been like, yes, this palette is amazing. I feel like Alien was more up my alley. Like I said, I'm not really a blue person, but the different tones, if I just stuck to this and maybe this or whatever, I feel like you could get a lot of good out of this. But I'm not mind blown. I think the quality is nice. It's just you have to know what you're gonna do with it. I wouldn't want to go in blind with this palette and not have some kind of an idea of what you want to do ahead of time, or whatever you start building on. If you start to see something that you're like, oh, this is good, maybe don't do too much. So there you go. My first impressions with the Blue Blood palette. I'll probably do at least another look on my channel, and then sometime by the end of the month, we are pretty close to the end of the month, but I'm sure in May I'll have a proper review for you guys if you want to hear it. It might even be a review roundup. Again, I'm going to have a full video just on the Sonia G brushes because I'm so impressed with them, and I'm so happy to do this kind of video again. It's been a long time, and it was a lot of fun, and it got me excited again, because sometimes these ones I gotta sit down and be like, I am going to dedicate 2 hours to a kind of shitty eyeshadow look. But I still enjoyed it. It kind of made me feel more creative and excited, and that's what makeup is about. I think that if I went outside right now, I look like I have too much makeup on, in the sense of like, if you get up close, you can see all the fine lines and wrinkles, and it's like, whoa, it's a lot. But on camera, for pictures, it's beautiful. And the lashes definitely help cover some of the things that didn't want to blend so well. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye. Don't forget, you can subscribe down here, and for more videos, click over here. Possibly there. There's places to click. Click them all.